Hello, nerds. Brandon here,
And I'm James.
and we got Spider-Man talk.
I was really intrigued by the most recent Spider-Man run. I picked it up because I'm like, why not? It's garbage.
So, this jumps into a much bigger topic that I have felt very passionate about, but have never really talked about before, and that is the overall treatment of Peter Parker as a character by Marvel Comics, which I think is just poorly done.
Absolutely.
For someone who is a flagship character of the of Marvel Comics, he's always gotten just the wrong end of the stick with everything, and it's unfortunate. Now, the current run, written by Zeb Wells, I have nothing against Zeb Wells. I think he's an incredible writer. He's written a lot of fun stuff. I loved his Hellions run on this X-Men thing with Krakoa. It was a lot of fun. I think this run is more of what Marvel is telling him to do versus what maybe we want to see. And the thing I mean by that is no matter what, no matter who's writing, no matter what happens, it always goes back to Peter Parker being a broke person, either back in college or working for the Daily Planet, having not a penny to his name, fighting to survive. And I'm fucking over it, to say it nicely. I don't understand why we continue to just beat up Peter Parker and put him in these corners for everything that he's gone through. Every other character you continue to see evolve in some sort of way, but like Peter Parker, it's like at his origin, we're just going to have him be a down on his luck guy, no money whatsoever. And the thing that I don't understand is if you're so bent on having like Spider-Man being a younger man, struggling to survive, you literally have a brand new Spider-Man who's in high school that you can do this to by the name of Miles Morales. You can now have growing pains
But if we
for the person who's growing.
But if we make someone who's not white look poor and sad, it's racist.
Is that really why they're not doing that?
I wouldn't.
I'm not even saying make him poor and sad. Just like give him some of these same trials. Like let Peter be a goddamn adult.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Go to a high school and watch what high schoolers do and write modern high school situations. Stop making this like by this time like 60, 70-year-old character who's not actually 60 or 70.
No, but he always ends up going back into college.
Exactly.
And I'm like, my guy, how many times have you gone back to college? Like
he has to have at least 20 degrees now.
Just let him be with Mary Jane. They can still have problems. You can have marital problems. You can do 100 other things rather than being like, here's Peter Parker, Avenger, renting a room with two guys barely making like rent. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Stop reversing the character progression. The reason we love Peter is because we watch him struggle and grow.
But he gets through it and he does
Exactly.
And I think the biggest issue with this one was the Mary Jane thing. It coming off of Nick Spencer's run, it ends on this very high note of, oh my God, are we finally going to get Peter and MJ back together?
No.
Ever since that happened, and I will still yell at Joe Quesada about that one, I hated the mythical divorce. I thought it was stupid. I thought there were a million ways you could have done stuff, but that just adds to what I'm saying about the poor treatment of Peter Parker. Finally thought we were getting over this. Finally thought we were moving past it. And at the beginning of this run, she is with another guy and they have kids. And that's all explained on how that's done. And it's a little silly, but it's just like, I don't want to see Black Cat and Spider-Man hooking up. I'm here to see grown adult Peter Parker dealing with adult things.
We have very different tastes in that case.
It turns out we do have very different tastes in that case. There's something else that I guess was a big hubbub. I didn't seem to give a shit about it. I didn't even register on my radar of hubbubbery. But the Ben Reilly becoming the villain Schism. Go on, no, your turn. There you go.
Really?
Isn't that his name now?
It's Chasm.
Isn't there a...
No, it's Chasm.
Is it Chasm?
It's Chasm. It's okay.
It's a dumb character.
I like Schism more. I like that name.
Is it Chasm? Yeah, I'll look it up.
I made the joke earlier that it's like modern day treatment of Peter is better than what Ben Reilly was at his peak before he was constantly made a villain. And then Brandon said,
Ben Reilly sucks.
I disagree. I love Ben Reilly.
Ben Reilly was one of the worst mistakes in comics. Do you know about when he
But
was...
the Lost Years.
But do you know, like, the reaction people had?
Oh,
when
I
they
do.
tried to say,
I
like,
do. And that's
Ben
what
Reilly's
makes me love
actually
him
been
more.
Peter Parker the whole time. No. It was...
But here's the
Ben
thing.
Reilly's a perfect example of why the 90s is not
Remove
as
yourself from the little babies that were in the 90s. And it is genius, the
It's not.
psychological
No.
games they were playing.
But, right, but like to fully commit to him being the real Peter Parker was a bad move.
Oh, of course.
You can still do
I'll admit that.
all of that stuff. Like you can still like, am I real? Am I fit? But like, he's a character that the 90s did this thing where they created certain characters that people just can't ever let go of, no matter how silly or pointless or whatever.
Venom.
I love Venom as a villain. I hate Venom as an anti-hero. I hate Venom as a
I'm
hero.
the exact opposite.
Oh my god!
I
James,
like
is
Venom as
this
a
how your
hero,
dad feels talking
but
about all
I
the time?
don't like Venom as a villain. Because I love Agent Venom.
Agent Venom was cool.
That's fair.
I loved Agent Venom.
Actually, I really only like Agent
I like
Venom.
different takes on it, but I don't like the idea of Venom being like, I'm gonna pretend to be. That's why the movies aren't great. Like they just fucking like
That's fair.
like the fact that Venom goes out and declares himself his own person. I was like, this is stupid. The 90s, I don't look back on fondly for comics. I look at it as a big, there were some good things coming out of it. None of like,
I mean,
none of which by Rob Liefeld. Like anything
Hey.
that survived him was done by other people or the character itself. But
we can all.
have we gone through Rob Liefeld's art?
Oh, now I remember.
There we
what you're
go.
talking
I was
about.
like,
the
take it easy
Superman.
there.
The Superman
the-
where it's like
the
his
Captain
chest is
America.
like Captain America. Where it's
Yeah.
like that's not healthy. That
He redrew
yeah.
that. He redrew that to be funny, and it was like, you still suck. Like it's not. Oh, look at how bad I am. Yes,
we can all
that's
agree
what we're all
though
saying.
that 90s mullet perm Superman is a sin against God itself.
A lot of the 90s was not great, but regardless of our feelings on Chasm or whatever Ben Reilly's doing now, I don't remember if Jimmy said this on camera or not, but like people dying in comics used to really be something.
the death
People
of
change
Superman.
Yeah. Whereas like now, Kamala Khan's back 2 weeks later. When something happens to a character, I rarely think this is going to last forever, but I do want some permanent changes, and I think Spider-Man needs to be taken much better care of. He's next to Superman. I would say he's the most universally recognized superhero.
Let him grow up. Let him experience new things.
Let him feel joy. Have we ever talked about,
Stop cock blocking him, please.
have you ever read House of M?
I have bits and pieces.
Have you ever seen when everyone that comes back from the Earth?
Oh, and when he dated Kitty Pryde.
No. That's
Oh.
Ultimate.
Oh, that's also okay. Never mind.
House of M was Scarlet Witch giving
yes.
everybody their wildest dreams, and this is a Peter Parker who wakes up, goes to sleep married to Mary Jane, and wakes up married to Gwen Stacy. And then, on top of all of that, he's one of the select few that got to hold on to all those memories when everything went back to normal.
Oh,
And it was like, why is he abused so much?
Because we as the audience are sadistic.
No.
Except for when we're not.
Make Peter happy.